I just sent all
Also,
my
why
friends.
aren't we friends and visiting each other's islands and fruit?
Well, that's a good question. I did post on the back channel a thing about that. I'll get you my friend code later or whatever. You can send me yours. But no, I have a group of friends and we've been like posting each other's turnip prices every morning. But I don't think any of us knew that it reset in the afternoon. So we just would be like, okay, those are the prices for the day. I sold all mine for 146 yesterday, and of course at one of my friends' places. And then of course today my own town had one for 168. But I knew around 150 was where I'd be okay selling them, so I'm not bitter about it.
Yeah, as long as you make double or near double your money, you're fine.
You
I'm
strike
hoping
me
for
as
that rare
somebody who would
600.
be a time traveler, but are you a time traveler?
I time traveled once, only because the very beginning of the game is so rough, and like the day right before you get Nook's Cranny, I just couldn't wait anymore, so I time traveled to get it. But that's the only time I time travel.
Hmm.
I feel like the game really doesn't want you to play it at the beginning, which I understand. Like there's a whole ethos around it. But at the the first week of the game being launched, all I wanted to do was play it, and it doesn't want you to do.
I don't know. I felt like I had enough to do, and it was pretty nice because my wife and I were sharing the town, and so. But I always felt like I had plenty, and if I got bored, I always just went to an island or something. But it
Yeah.
probably also helps that I also had Doom Eternal, so I was like swapping between the two.
Yeah. If I didn't have that, if I had that, I probably would have been fine. But yeah, I typically don't like the time travel, only because the game has like a pretty. Once the game gets going, the pace becomes pretty routine, and playing with the pacing, it just feels like it would just destroy my enjoyment of.
Ooh, I just made my computer mad.
Oh my god. So, um, I won't say who, but another 102 instructor is like, "Hey, I'm sorry I didn't tell
We
you this
are
ahead of time,
live.
but
We are live, just so you know.
that's fine. I'm not bad mouthing them. I'm just saying they're like, hey, I said that you would be okay to do an interview, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But they sent me an email, and it starts with urgent,
Oof.
and this is not urgent.
Nothing is urgent anymore.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Yo, yo.
I'm so sorry I'm so late.
It's okay. As my Russian professor would say, Lucia poznać nikogda.
Okay.
What's up for everyone? Let's get a quick recap of our past week, and then we'll do a recap of D&D.
Hi, everyone. My name is Corey Hernai. I'm a Plan C student here at UWM. Um, yeah, time doesn't mean anything anymore. There was this great meme going around, which I know you and Eric necessarily won't relate to, but time is broken up into two halves: coffee time and alcohol time.
Ha.
No coffee or alcohol here.
I have not been
That is
able to
fair.
get coffee in so long. I need it.
Why?
Because
Um,
all of my favorite
you can,
places are closed.
you can get it shipped. I just got a shipment from California.
Yeah, but it's not coffee unless I pay too much for someone else to make it.
And if you pay me, I can deliver you freshly brewed coffee every day.
I might consider it. Alright, what's up for you, Leia?
Yeah, hi. I'm Leia Liebzeller, PhD candidate in the Anthro department. I guess. Am I still that thing? I don't know. Like uh that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Moved research online. I don't know.
What does that even mean for you?
Okay, so trying to do the 2 sentence recap. My research before was deeply based in how people use public space and like architected play space, when it works, when it doesn't work, and why. And so basically now that has moved to how are people in Corona times utilizing public play streaming space, like as they move onto online games and stuff. So that's like a lot of game conferences have moved online, and so I'm like going to those. And the IRB
Like,
people are being pretty cool because I literally 2 days. It took 2 days to get update my study to be able to do that. So
Nice.
Leia, can you do me a huge?
sure.
So since you're probably going to be one of the first like people like really writing about this in like an
Yeah.
academic way, in the same way that we call like depression, like the depression era, can you start labeling this the Corona era?
No.
I mean, I would be willing to call it the Corona times. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of era. That feels too, even though it feels like an era, like this whole month has felt like in a whole era.
This week has felt a whole era. What the fuck are you talking about?
I am totally down for coining new terms like that. So yeah, we just have to work on it to make it like a little more punny.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll workshop it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, so that's that's my life right now. Spent my entire weekend on Twitch, watching GaryCon essentially.
Nice.
So
I mean, it's we were just talking tech. It doesn't
Gary Indiana Con.
now I know.
no, GaryCon in Wisconsin, Gary, Indiana. Oh, never mind. I messed that up in my brain.
Gary, Indiana. Anyway, what's up for you,
Oh
Eric?
no. Is this an April Fool's Day episode of Doctors and Dungeon Masters? Is everything a joke?
Everything's always
I
a
will
joke to me.
I will log off.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. I can't. I'm okay. I'm not doing very much. Maybe I'll eventually hit that random production boost, but for now, it's just Eric playing video games and playing
Oh man, you're not
Dungeons and
even calling
Dragons
yourself Air Bear.
and teaching peoples.
Be all right.
I like teaching a little bit.
Yeah, how are you guys doing the online transition? Are you guys like streaming or anything?
Yeah, I'm Twitch streaming lectures with the students interacting in chat and then posting them the VODs because it's kind of tricky. But the nice thing is that I just do one now because I have both classes come at the same time.
Yep. I stole Eric's idea of doing it only once now, especially since in one of my classes, all but 3 students are now living in Asia, Africa, and I think most of them are Saudi. So
I'm
no...
completely asynchronous, which is nice.
Yeah.
I am as well. I went asynchronous. I do office hours on Twitch, which just to like give my students a space if they want to like just come and hear me talk and like engage with me synchronously. I wanted to leave that option open, but otherwise it's actually really fun because they had to do all these presentations where they explain the class material and then they have a discussion question. So essentially I turn the presentation written and they just do a summary of the thing and then other people comment on it. So I'm basically just making my students teach my classes. So really for me at this point it's just grading and email, which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I basically turned engagement into like research and written assignments. So yeah, it's very strange. Like I don't feel like I'm teaching, which has me anxious in a weird way, but I am.
I agree. Yes, I agree with everything you just said.
And now let's get a recap of what happened last week in Doctors and Dungeon Masters, the extended episode.
Pissed off, you
No.
We killed a
Stop your
trash bitch.
No. First of all, this was not last week. It was last year.
Yeah, that is true.
We'll just have to start there.
So what happened last decade on Doctors and Dungeon Masters?
You pissed off your wizard, is what you did.
No. It was so much fun.
That's about it.
And then you in turn pissed off some goblins because we ended last session with you killing the slime queen, and the goblins are still like off camera right now. They're about like 30 feet down a hallway. And you hear one group go, "They've killed the slime queen!" And then another one shouts, "Release the hounds!" What do you do?
I'm gonna kill some
Do I see
hounds.
the hounds?
Not yet. But you hear a lot of like footsteps scampering away. So like I'm gonna say that Goblin 2 is like completely off screen at this point. But Goblin Pack 1 is just imagine 30 feet back from this right now.
You know, I should probably open up the Twitch stream to see the map. That'd probably be
Oh yeah,
very helpful right now.
absolutely.
Let me do that because that'll change what I do.
So what I want to do is I want to start moving towards the hall
Okay.
with my guns out,
Fucking ads
and I'll
every
use
damn time.
and I'll just in general prepare to shoot any hounds that I see, I guess.
Sure thing. What about the goblins at all?
Do the goblins look like they're threatening us, or that they're very scared of?
They are very scared of you. But I mean, if it comes like you know that if you encounter them, they are going to attack. It's just they are not attacking right now. So are you going to preemptively try and pick a few off, or are you going to?
I'm gonna go ahead and walk a little close, but not that close, and I'm gonna pull out my whip and whip it forward and crack it, and just say, "Get!"
I love it. Yeah. Let's 1 second. Let's all roll for initiative.
I didn't
19.
intimidate them away.
Oh, they did. Sorry, I wasn't clear. They ran. Those ones ran off. Corey, what'd you get?
19.
Okay.
Natural 19 for a 24.
Nice.
As always, 7.
Incredible. On the bright side, you were not the last in the turn order.
Also, I would like to remind Willow that you can currently walk on water still.
Sick.
Nice. I'm just gonna take the goblins out of the picture right now. I'm going to say
I just realized Willow probably hates the water. Anyways, continue. Go ahead.
What's it called? I'm going to move everyone back a little bit just so that we don't have the hallway fight. So we're just going to pretend for my sake that this is over here, but I understand that you want to be up and ready to attack as they come down. Taratha, where are you?
I don't know. I'm probably like flying above Willow, maybe 10 feet back.
Okay. So you're in the air, and Tali?
I guess I'll be right next to Willow.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Willow, you see 3 hulking hounds bounding down the hallway, just barking their heads off at you and snarling and gnashing their jaws. It's your turn. What do you do? They're all 3 of them are approaching. So.
How far away are they? Are they within like 50 feet?
Yeah. So the hallway itself is 30 feet. Yeah, just for my own sanity, there's no hallway anymore. Everything's in the Coliseum. They're in melee. Like you are able to move to them.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. So I'll move up to them and let's punch some dogs.
Okay.
I will.
Hound 2 or Hound 3?
Ooh, Corey, you would know the answer to this off the top of your head. If I'm using a whip and something leaves my range, like let's say it moves within 10 feet and then leaves 10 feet, do I get an attack of opportunity?
Yes, that's the great thing about reach.
Cool. All right. Anyways, So I'll move up and I'm gonna pull out my sword, just completely neglecting the whip thing I just
Yeah.
talked about. And let's go ahead and chop up hound number 2.
All right.
First attack is a 24 to hit.
That will hit.
It does 17. Roll the max damage.
Nice. And then
How's it looking?
it's looking good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll keep attacking that one.
Okay.
Are these beefy boys?
They are beefy
14.
boys. That will hit.
12.
All right, it takes it.
It's a total of 29, and then I'm gonna take the then I'm gonna kind of block off the hallway a little bit and take the patient defense bonus action.
Nice.
So yeah.
Taratha, what do you do?
How much space is between Willow and the dog?
They're in melee range, all 3 of them.
Oh, I thought Willow backed up. Okay. Hmm. How wide and tall is the hallway?
It is like 6 feet tall, 15 feet wide.
All right. So basically, I'm blocking them from going past, right? Because I could attack of opportunity if they try to move to Taratha, which is what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
No, I won't do it. I won't do it. But what I will do is fuck it. Fuck it. I'm gonna cast web.
Nice. Tell me what they got.
I believe. So it's 20-foot cube. I'm gonna center basically on like the hallway. I don't know how long the hallway is, but I imagine it'll take up the hallway. That's going to be. Sorry, I cannot find what the saving throw is. Dexterity.
Okay, so Hound 1 rolls a 9. Hound 2.
Nope.
Where'd that dice go? I rolled a d12. Rolls a 14, and the third one rolls a 13. By the way, these dice fucked me yesterday as a player, so I brought them in as a DM to hopefully have it fuck me again, but it'll be for your benefit.
Awesome. So on a failed save, the creature is restrained as long as it remains in the web or until it breaks free. In order to break free, it has to use its action to make a strength check against my spell save. I think Willow also needs to make a save as well.
Well,
What save?
Can't you center it so that it hits the hounds and not her?
I could. It's 20 feet.
Yeah, you
I don't know. How long is this hallway?
It's 30 feet. You're good.
Okay.
All right. You watch Hound 1 lunge forward to try and bite you, Willow. But it's not able to because it just gets kind of like pulled back by this webbing.
Nice.
And then it opens its jaws, and you see this kind of like lasery center inside its throat. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Evasion.
Yup.
That would be a 15.
All right, you just barely save, and you have evasion, so you don't take half the damage that you would have. But this laser beam of fire just shoots out of its mouth, and that is its turn. Next up is Hound 2, who is equally mad and is going to do the same thing. I need another dex save out of you.
27.
All right, same thing. Oh, actually, nope, Taratha, you're in the air, so you don't.
I just imagine I do like the straight splits, and it just flies over my head.
I love it. Yeah, these things are nasty. But you're good. And then Tali, what do you do?
All right. I think I'm going to cast Dawn.
Oh shit.
Because I just saw Willow make some really good smacks on these things, and it didn't do a whole
Oh,
lot, and
okay, this is
so
gonna work.
yeah.
All
So I'm
right.
obviously gonna center it because they're held in place right now, essentially. So
Yep.
it's a good time for it. But so I'm gonna center it so that it doesn't hit Willow, obviously, and then yeah, that's what I'm doing. So they have to. I don't even know if they can make dex saves right now.
Nope, they failed dex saves.
No, I'm sorry. It's
They
Constitution.
have disadvantage on dex saves,
Okay.
and we have advantage on attack rolls against them. And their attack rolls actually have disadvantage, by the way.
I know.
Sorry,
they've
it's
just been doing AO. Okay.
It's Constitution anyway, but
Does it happen on their
17.
turn or immediate? Oh, okay. Let's
So yeah,
see.
when the cylinder appears, each creature must make a Constitution
18,
saving throw.
16. Okay, Hound 1 passes with an 18. Hound 2 fails with a 16. Hound 3 fails with an 11.
Ooh, yeah, okay, hold on.
Yeah, so just tell me the full damage.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's so
I'm so
that is
excited
gonna be
for my
32.
Nice.
Or 16 halved.
Nice. 1 second. All right. That one that took damage is looking close to death's door.
Okay, and then a creature must also make the saving throw whenever it ends its turn in the cylinder. So
Oh man.
I just
That
need
is
that
so
to be set up.
gnarly.
I mean, it's a 5th level spell, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
I hope
Kill
it's
them.
I love it.
murder. Okay. Anyway, that's it. That's my turn.
All right. Hound 3 is struggling. And it's panicking. I need a dex save from Willow and Tali.
Okay.
As it shoots a laser.
25.
You are good.
It's gonna be a 16.
You take 16 points of fire damage. That's halved from 32.
All right. Cool.
And then Willow is fine. And then it's gonna make its con save and fail. So tell me how much it gets hurt.
Ooh. Dude, I am digging my D10s right now a whole fucking lot. So it's gonna be 34.
Holy shit. Tell me how Hound 3 dies.
Yeah, so it's just when you have like a really bad sunburn that just keeps on going and adds to the fumes of this room as it cooks.
Nice. All right, Willow, what do you do?
Dogs still look like they got some fight in them.
Hound 1 has a bit of fight. Hound 2 has a little bit less fight.
I'm about to fuck it still.
I will put my hand on the head of Hound 2 and just say, easy now.
And then what do you do?
I'm trying to soothe it.
Roll an animal handling check with disadvantage.
You got it.
Hey, make sure you take your hand out of the daylight before the end of your turn, okay, Eric?
Yeah. Because right now this thing is restrained and getting dicked over.
14.
Yeah, it bites your hand. I mean, you're not taking anything. It's just flavor. You reach your hand out and it just bites you, and it's got fear in its eyes.
That's my action for the turn?
I will say you can use your bonus action stuff even though you did not make an action to attack.
All right. I'll martial arts it and I say bad dog and I'll kick it. I'll kick it.
Okay.
That'll be a 27 to hit.
Did you roll with advantage?
Nope. 27 to hit.
Okay. Roll your damage.
It'll be 11.
All right, it is on death's door. Taratha, what do you do?
It's gonna be really fun. The one that isn't super close to being dead, I'm going to shoot with Firebolt.
Nice.
That's gonna be a 20 to hit, unnatural.
Yep. You're lighting the web, aren't you?
Yes, I am. So that's gonna be fun. Wow, that's 7, 10, 19 damage on that one, and then on the one that's also got burst into flames, that's gonna be an additional 7 damage.
Okay, give me 1 second. All right, death's door now. Both of them actually have the same amount of HP left. So they are going to use their turns to try and break free at this point. What's that, a strength check or a strength save? What is it for web?
I mean,
It's a dex save.
No, to
But
to
strength
break
to get
out.
out.
no, it's a strength check against 7.
One gets a 19, the other one gets a 16. So, Hound 1 spends its turn to break out, and it is going to, 1 second, move up here. And that's its turn. And then Hound 2 is still stuck. It's just gonna get obliterated because it has 4 HP left. There's no way you are not killing it. So Tally,
Okay.
tell me how Hound 2. Yeah, that's a nat 1 on its like con check.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I like the idea of an explosion.
I dig it.
So I think we're just. I mean, this room is so disgusting anyway. You might as well just like keep adding to the nasty.
Yeah, I mean, it can't get as nasty as when I ran this as a one-shot on Saturday. I felt so bad for the people.
I am
Up
so
here.
glad that I didn't go to that one
I'm
shot.
amused.
Now, actually, I think it would be cool at one shot, but
Yeah. All right, Tally, what do? You got one hound left.
oh yeah, I'm just gonna whack it.
All right.
I think mine's hilarious, but
Um,
my friends from Taiwan said it's terrible. It's actually a cat
Yeah.
ball. And they think it's
What do you
like
I'm not gonna whack it actually. That was a lie. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna whiff hard.
Tell me what you rolled.
So, oh, I rolled
Okay.
I rolled a
So-
10.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna do it. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
a two on the die, man.
Ripperoni.
Whatever, it's fine.
Any bonus actions?
Nah.
All right. Willow.
All right, we'll try this shit again. How's it looking?
That's
Like in
door.
terms of in terms of fight.
Oh, it's looking to run.
Does this thing have like a master?
The masters are the goblins.
All right, and it's caught in like a web, right?
It recently
Oh.
escaped the web.
Oh, I was gonna cut it free. All right, I assume this thing responds to strength, and so I'm gonna kind of present strength and kind of grab it by the nape of its neck and put it down.
All right, give
Like
me
not like
yeah.
kill it, but like try to like incapacitate it or whatever.
Just put it over the rainbow bridge. Let's do a contested strength contest.
Can I use like my dexterity score for that?
You just said it responds to strength.
I meant like the
Yep.
present whatever. 11.
All right. It rolled a 14. So you go to push it down, but you're not able to. Do you want to do anything else with your turn?
Yeah, non-lethal. I'm gonna punch this thing.
Sure thing. Go for it.
Natural 20.
Okay. Yeah. You non-lethally. I think you do the little like ninja jab to like.
I just chokehold it.
Okay. Nice.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu style, just.
And you, Taratha, who loves dogs, just watches Willow choke out the remaining dog after you bird the other one, and Tally
Choke
killed
it
the third
like
one.
save it, choke it out like.
All right, you are out of combat for now. What do you do?
previously had stated that
Well, I'll let sunlight Dawn drop.
Like they weren't real bribes, but she would ask.
Also, Leia, not to be shitty, I do hear Crystal Lee in the background, so if you could do push to talk, that would be great.
I think she is doing push to talk.
Yeah, I am doing push to talk, but I was just like about to say something, which is why I wasn't.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's cool. I was just thinking, and I'll be better about unpausing when I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do.
Okay. Willow and Taratha, what are you doing?
Well, looks like it might be time to go. We took care of this trash queen. Do you think the goblins will still do their weird trash ritual? Or, now that we've taken care of her?
We can go talk to them.
Sure. They seem right scared.
Indeed.
Are you gonna go look for the goblins?
I guess we're just gonna head out. If there's goblins out there, we'll talk to them. If they're not, then well, yeah. They're fucking goblins.
I'll keep my whip out with the goal of disarming goblins if they, try to start shit.
Okay. And then are you leaving the dog behind?
What do you want to do with the dog? Just leave it?
I mean, you're the one who incapacitated it. I assumed you had a plan.
I just thought, this dog ain't really choose to, be beholden to the stupid decisions of these goblins. And maybe it didn't deserve to die just because it was following their orders.
Then might as well just leave it. Unless you're planning some sort of foster rehabilitation program.
Nah, I don't think that based on our previous, interactions with the state, that they'd love. I mean, maybe Buddy would like a dog. He seems to like dogs. He is a dog.
Buddy does rehome dogs to families.
What if we bring him back to Buddy? Maybe that gets us some Buddy points.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll fashion my whip into like a leash. Well, I guess we probably have rope. Rope makes a better leash than a whip.
All right. The dog is still knocked out though, so I'm gonna say that.
How heavy is the dog?
He's a big dog. Like imagine like a Great Dane, but looks like a Rottweiler.
Can I use animal handling to muzzle this dog?
Oh yeah.
Make a rope that can muzzle it and make sure that it's safe, but also can't attack us and shit.
Yeah, you could. There's if you look up gentle leader, that's the best thing for dogs. But anyway, yeah, you can make a sort of muzzle thing that'll be humane and also make it easy to walk with them. Now that doesn't mean that they'll immediately listen to you, but at least they are safe to bring around. Also, bear in mind you need to keep its mouth shut because it can breathe fire.
Yes, that is for all of those reasons. Tolly wants to make sure this, if we're gonna keep it, that we do it safely for ourselves and other people, and for the dog as well. So that's a 23.
Nice. Yeah, you definitely make a really good thing. The dog wakes up towards the end of it and it pulls a little bit. Can you just give me an animal handling check just to see how well you were able to tame it just to...
Sure, that's another 23.
Okay. Yeah, so you pull out some rations and you give it some scratches behind the ear. And it seems to be unsure of who you are and what you're doing. But it seems to also recognize that you are not going to harm it if it settles down. So you're able to walk out with the dog.
Awesome.
You all head back towards the Goblin Bridge, and one second, let me just pull them out. And the goblins are now on the opposite side. Where'd I put them? Oh, they're invisible, that's why. The goblins are now on the human side of the bridge, kind of congregating and muttering to themselves, and then when they see you, they immediately like dart and hide behind various like rocks and little hills, and they're not hidden very well, but they're just hiding from you.
Can I take the lead on this?
Go for it.
So I'll walk up to
I mean, I
the.
had an idea, but
All right, we'll do your idea if my idea doesn't work. How'd that sound?
sounds great.
All right, I'll walk up to the foot of the bridge and I'll be like, and I'll take out my pistol and I'll fire a round into the air.
Nice.
As to say, where's that
Tally
goblin?
Oh, sorry. Tally animal handling check.
Like forever.
Nat 20.
Nice. The dog is ready to bolt from the gun shop, and you very quickly soothe it. Or maybe you even soothe it, seeing Willow take the pistol out, and you distract it with some food while the gun goes off. Sorry, Willow, go ahead.
Where's that boss I was talking to at this bridge before?
There's a long kind of like pause in terms of what's like seeing something, but you hear a lot of like goblin chatter and arguing until finally you see like four goblin arms just shove the goblin out in front of the bridge. I'm just gonna like over here. So like this poor little goblin just gets shoved right in front, and he's looking scared. And he puts his hands up in surrender.
I'll put the pistol away, rest my hand on the sword. I'll take a couple steps forward and I'll say, you weren't so bad before when I came up here and I was looking for some medicine and stuff. You're not a bad guy.
I'm a very bad guy.
Well, maybe you play like you are, but here, I'll tell you what. Your trash queen's dead. So stop throwing trash at people. Make sure none of the other goblins do either.
Just no trash ever.
I mean, if you want to hang out in trash, I'm not going to stop you, but stop throwing it on people. It's gross.
You're gross.
Perhaps, but I'm not I'm not throwing trash on you. I wouldn't even bother you if you weren't doing it.
Well, if I say we don't throw trash, will you let us have our home back?
You gonna follow through?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Can we have our dog back?
No, I think I'm taking the dog. You aren't great owners. You throw your dogs into a fight and then you run? I don't consider that to be good sportsmanship.
You killed our queen. That's not
Yeah.
good sportsmanship.
Because she was telling you to throw trash on people. That ain't nice.
At least we weren't killing anyone. And then there's some goblin muttering behind, and he goes, "Most people, at least."
Yep. Well, how many goblins died here today? Not too many.
No.
Let's keep it that way, all right?
Oh, okay. And he'll dart behind a boulder again, and you can see like all the goblins there, just hanging around. But you can tell even just like without rolling, like they're too scared of you. Like some of them might like want to fight you, but they're not going to.
All right, I'm ready to go.
Me too.
Well, if they want to fight, let them have their chance. If they're angry, that's their right.
I don't think they want to fight Tara,
I look over. Are you sure? Free shot.
though. Sorry, what was that last thing you said? Free shot?
Free shot. Come on.
And one goblin like looks over and he looks like he wants to real bad, and then a second goblin hand just pushes his head down real quick.
You see the beginnings of like a fireball in my hand. I'm like, really? Really? Come on, free shot. Free shot.
Stop aggravating them.
And
I'm just showing them a little fear. They respond to fear, believe it or not.
As evidenced by the events today.
the goblin looks up. One of the goblins looks over to you, and sees like the fireball in Taratha's hands, and will go. Can you bring the trash queen back?
No, but I can do something much better.
And the little goblin ears perk up and go, "What?"
Are you gonna become the trash queen?
I take off my ring, revealing my tiefling form, and I say, I have slain your queen.
Oh shit!
I am your new queen now.
Christ.
Who got the last hit on the queen? Was that Tolly?
I forget.
I
go
also
back to-
forget.
Yeah, we have to go back to the tape on that one.
Because they were watching, so they would know.
Yeah. God, I forget who did that.
Is it on YouTube already?
It is on YouTube. Are
I'll
you
look
looking
for
up?
it.
Thanks. When you do that, let me just see. Describe. Remind me. You're like Elsa, but desert. Oh man.
It's like a porcelain white skin, but you see throughout her body what would normally look like scars. But the way that it's dug into the skin, it's like cracks in a glacier. And if you look at a glacier and it gets more blue around those cracks, that's what it looks like.
Nice.
And has ram horn.
Nice. The goblin that had a little little trash slingshot slowly lowers it. And they are frightened of you.
I start walking towards them.
Yeah, they are all cowering in fear, staying where they are. One or two are cowering in fear, like with slingshots armed, but the rest of them are like kind of cowering with their like arms up, like trying to make sure that like you see that they're not looking to attack you.
As I said, you get a free shot, or you could take what should be the easy route and bend the knee.
Shit. Give me an intimidation check.
18.
All right. I made the DC. I rolled to see what the DC would be. The DC was 17. I just want to wait and see what.
Hot diggity daffodil.
What? What's up?
I said hot diggity daffodil.
Oh, I'm curious to see who got the last shot on them, because I think that is going to determine how they kind of move on past this. But what is Tali doing in the meantime? The dog is like pacing around, whining a little bit. Uh-oh. We lost Alea.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. I had AFK for like 2 seconds.
It's okay.
What did I miss?
So currently Taratha is intimidating the goblins into accepting her as their new queen. The dog is pacing around anxiously. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to keep the dog, from hurting itself or me.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, this is the shit that Taratha does. So she just kind of like chills until Taratha is done with whatever she's doing, and then continues on with her life.
Sounds good. Eric, what's it looking like on your end?
I'm curious about how this plays out. I did not know that Tali was a devil.
I am not a devil.
Or Taritha, sorry, Taritha.
All right.
All
Was
good.
that the first time I've called Taritha Tali?
know.
Haha.
Usually the other way around. The goblins will start to bow towards you.
And I will say, you've heard my legend. Bend the knee.
They do.
Good. Congregate around me. We must.
Christ. And kind of like, you know how in like preschool where all the kids like gather around the teacher for story time? They do that.
Who is your leader?
And like one of them like starts to say like, you know, to automatically go the slime queen. But they quickly turn like the S from slime to sapphire, and they say Sapphire Queen. And there's a mumble, Sapphire Queen.
Of you all, that wasn't a self-gratifying question. Of all you all, who leads command here?
And the goblin that was pushed out meekly raises his hand.
What's your name?
Bach.
Sorry, you misspoke. It's Captain Bach.
And he like immediately, Bowie, come on. And he goes, Captain?
Indeed, Captain.
Captain Bach?
In my stead, when I am off, you will lead these ruffians. You all are going to try and shape up, so to speak, integrate into society. Living on the outskirts is not becoming of a sentient race.
They all do not look like they enjoy that. They just start scrunching their noses and looking around at one another. And then Captain Bach will go, We wish not to integrate, my queen.
Fine. But I will need you to serve me in this city. You will be my eyes and ears in areas that I cannot or do not have access to.
Where are those places, my queen?
Various thieves' guilds. If you can get members of this cohort in, say, some noble families' service, that would be useful. I imagine they would pay for a meager goblin to perform some ridiculous task. Basically, I want the goblin presence in the city to increase, but not in the manner that your previous queen has done so. I want you to be upstanding. I want you to be hardworking, and in doing so, gather information. I want to know about cultish things. I want to know about anyone who is performing magical rituals or gathering magical artifacts without the government's knowledge. Lastly, if there's any word on the street of anything against the Alcott family, I will be notified immediately.
Can we still bathe the slime of the old queen? Her
No.
power.
No, you will not. You serve me now.
So Queenie. What are our goblins getting out of this deal?
Bowie.
Service to their queen.
Yes, but what are you giving them in return for them helping you?
Tali's gonna cast message to Willow.
Go for it.
And under her breath just be like, leave it alone. This is already taking too long.
Sorry.
No one should be sorry. That's just how Tali rolls. Like, I am having a lot of fun watching this, for the record.
Okay.
I some connections in the city. I would like the goblins to start a co-op, so to speak, have a place in the city to call their own. We need to make sure that sentient races are getting their fair treatment, and if they're living purely on the outskirts and bathing in trash, that is not going to happen.
But we like the trash.
Yes, I understand.
Do
and
you kind of
can
like the trash because you've never known anything but the trash?
We have seen how you live in the city with rules and bathing. It's
Bathing in
disgusting.
trash at the behest of a slime queen is following rules.
We wish to bathe in the trash.
I start casting prestidigitation on all of
Uh-huh. To make them all
them,
clean.
and I'm just like, no, I'm just like, you are all being cleansed by the sapphire as I do it.
Christ. All right. There's like a couple of like squeaks and shouts as they get clean, but I mean they're all too afraid to fight you right now. And the
And I say, do you smell that?
no, I smell
Exactly.
nothing. And some of them are
Think
getting a
about
little
it.
teary-eyed and upset.
Now you can roam around in the shadows, and no one will be alerted to your foul stench. Please.
And oh, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, you can go ahead.
And before you smelled like the slime queen, now you get to smell like you. And that's better. To be proud of being a goblin. Nothing wrong with that.
And they look over themselves and just roll a persuasion check, Willow.
9. I mean,
they
it is
don't
what it
seem
is.
to like individuality. They like being ruled and controlled.
I think that, to be fair, I'm not going against Queenie. I'm more saying they should be proud of being goblins, right? So that's not individuality.
Okay.
That's like collectivism, right?
Yeah. Okay. No, I was stuck on the "you smell like you" part. So now I get it. You know what? With that, Taratha, you watch the goblins all look around and they scoop a handful of dirt into their grubby little hands and then just kind of smack it to their chest over their hearts. And they go, Goblin pride?
Indeed, goblin pride.
Yes.
Okay. What needs to happen now is I need everyone here to start getting ready to move into the city. We'll make arrangements. Captain Bach will come with us into the city while we make those arrangements, and then he'll come back to make sure that the transit goes as smooth as possible.
And Captain Bach will nod his head and he'll go, If I'm supposed to be guarding them when you're not here, who is the leader when we both are not here?
Lieutenant Captain.
Yes, we'll need a lieutenant captain. Who is second in charge?
And he'll look around, and you can tell he's kind of picking in the moment, because there's not really like a second person. So then he'll just pull another goblin that kind of looks the toughest out of them all.
And what is your name, lieutenant captain?
Bagok?
Bagak, I need you while we're gone, not only to make sure everyone is getting ready to move, but to fill in the trash den.
And he looks so sad at that, but he very slowly nods his head in understanding.
Hey, Taratha.
What's up?
Do you think Gabak should have a second in command?
Yeah, we'll have a whole hierarchy. Yes, absolutely. And I start. We don't need to go through all of them, but I'll sketch out. I'll get everyone's name and sketch out a rough chain of command.
Christ, it's now nighttime.
But I lean down to Bagak and I lift him up with my index finger and I lean down next to his ear and whisper, "In service of your queen."
Christ.
So Tali has a question after you say you're gonna fill in the pit. Is that actually where all the stuff from presentation goes? Because if it is,
Yeah.
then you won't be able to actually fill it in, and filling it in might actually be bad. So maybe don't do
Okay, then demolition the entrance. Make sure no one can get in.
Then he'll do that, yeah. All right. So as far as getting back home, it's a couple hours journey. It is nighttime. It's about like 8 o'clock-ish, so the sun is starting to set. It would be dark during the trip, but you can still get home tonight, but it would be pretty late. Or you can sleep here and Christ. Yeah, and you can sleep here, or you can choose to go back home and sleep at home, but not be able to do anything real until morning.
Get moving.
I mean, we can sleep with my new servant.
Christ. All right. So the goblin crew is going to lead you to a couple of dens, and you could see them working really hard to like make up something nice, but they just have like straw and mud and clay. Like it's not comfortable whatsoever. I know you have Lehman's tiny hut, but they are doing their best with their little goblin hands to get this going.
I tell him, no, that's all right. And then I make a big show of ritual casting Lehman's tiny hut.
Uh-huh. And
And then there was something else I wanted to do. No, that's it.
And then Captain Bagak will give you a deep bow when you're done casting it. And he will go, the who's the captain and who's the lieutenant captain? Looking to Tali and Willow.
that. Oh, we don't have that kind of structure.
These are my friends.
Yeah. I kicked her at this ass when she tried to tell me what to do.
I like kicking ass too.
Well, I'll stick with Taritha. She does it often.
Well, I am going to guard the bridge now. Is there anything else I can do for you, my queen?
You have your orders. Make sure that when you're ready for transit, that you all start working on getting jobs and fulfilling your mission.
They're still not happy about it, but they all bow and walk out. All right, so Christ, Corey in chat. So let's get some role play as you guys go to sleep.
Are we back in town, or sorry, we decided to stay out here?
Yeah, you're tiny hutting at the Goblin Place.
We're in the tiny hut.
Okay, cool. Sorry. I don't know.
Sorry, your new dog is barking.
I put on water for tea.
Bowie.
Well, Taritha, you do know that if you take lead over somebody, you're just as responsible to them as they are to you.
I'm aware, but I feel like I owe these goblins something, and that something can be some structure as they move forward, integrating into society. We came in, they only know, you know, the rule of a queen, the rule of a king, this monarchy, to come in, destabilize that, um, could potentially lead to a lot of problems. So I will lead them in their trash queen stead and make sure that, this race can integrate into VAR.
Tolly is gonna give this dog a bath before going to bed.
Let's
Mostly
see.
because she thinks the dog will enjoy the bath as opposed to prestidigitation.
Yep, I actually
So
rolled to see whether the dog was a fan of
nice
Oh
for
my
water
her.
god.
because some of them are really shitty about it. This one
I've
loves
not
water.
known a dog that likes a bath, so I'm like, Tarifa's just sitting there just like watching because it doesn't feel like Tali understands dogs and baths.
Yep. It's
I have had several friends with dogs who love baths and like they will just do the shower and be totally in love with it. So I don't know.
Aww.
Peyton loves the bath. Bowie will only go into the bath if Peyton's in the bath.
I got 23 for animal handling Kelly to give this dog a bath.
This dog might be
Because
yours
apparently
now.
my dice loves rolling 13s for this for some reason.
Yeah. This dog,
Kelly is currently muted, so I think it's just up to us at this moment.
Cool. Well, I
I'm
think
a fucking idiot. I've been talking this whole time. I was just saying
balls.
how did you get to did you hear when I said that I rolled to see whether this dog likes baths or not?
Nope.
Okay. Because I rolled to see whether this dog likes baths or not because I have dogs that have both hated and then some dogs that have loved baths. This one loves it, and Bowie hates baths unless Peyton's in the bath with her. But anyway, that's all.
Sorry guys, Chrisley is trying to talk to me and I
Okay.
can't listen to both of you unfortunately.
Okay. But yeah, so for the rest of the party, watching Tali give this dog a bath, this dog loves her now. Its tail is thumping. It lets out a couple of like happy barks, and every now and again, if it barks really loudly, like a little like fire snap pops out of its mouth, but nothing dangerous.
Both Willow and Taratha would know that the caravan often has animals with it, so that's why I have so much animal handling.
Mm-hmm.
Is because that's a thing. You need guard dogs and like hawks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't mean to just take this dog from you. That was not my original intent there.
Wasn't my dog.
But yeah, I mean, I might have to keep this dog now.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to keep the dog or to keep the goblins, but here we are.
You keep giving us small creatures and we keep just adopting them. It's fine.
I know. It's just like the fucking kids in the other campaign. Any kid just gets adopted by them. But anyway. So you all go to sleep. Anything you want to do before you head
I
back to
wanted
camp?
to talk
Oh,
more to Taratha, if that's
sorry.
okay.
Go ahead.
So, were you ever planning on that, maybe talking about, not necessarily being everything that you appear to be?
What would you like to know?
I mean, all I'm saying is that you've been living under my roof under a little bit of false pretenses for a little while, ain't you?
I wouldn't say that necessarily.
What would you say then?
I would say that it's in my best interest to hide this form, to hide myself
Would Willow be
against
aware of
anything.
the sapphire of the sands?
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. It's so like people say like finding a sapphire in the sand is like something that's super rare, or looking for sapphires in the sand is like kind of looking for, let's say, lost cause, like so something that people do but have no chance of actually achieving. The sapphire in the sands is sort of like Bigfoot in a way, like people know of it but no one really believes that it's real. Hopefully that helps out. Eric, are you still there?
Yeah, I asked a question to Tirtha. I said, so I suppose you're the sapphire in the sands then.
That's what they call me, yes.
Well, I can understand why I'd maybe not want anyone to know that, but and I guess you did show it to me, so I guess it is what it is. We all got things in our I was Eric's trying to think of a funny way to say it, but in our our treasure chest that we don't necessarily want other people to see. But, sometimes being forthright can go a long way.
Forthright, yes, but also this knowledge is dangerous. By revealing this to you, in which something I've been meaning to do, but there's never quite a right time. It opens you and potentially Zola to harm.
Yeah, she can take care of herself.
I hope so.
You sometimes just worry a little bit too much, though. It'll be all right.
I'm glad you think so.
All right.
And then I gesture toward my scar-riddled body, and then I say, but you can never be too sure. And then I put the ring back on.
Nice. All right. So, y'all sleep well that night. You head out in the morning, and you have Captain Bach with you, and Bagak is staying back. Where do you go when? Do you have anything to talk about before you arrive to town, or do you just go straight to Good Boy Buddies?
I mean, are we still giving the dog to Good Boy Buddy?
Hell yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't speak for Tolly there.
Yeah, because you would notice by this point, Tara, that the dog is like all over Tolly, like it's thumping its tail and doing cute little dog things right now.
No, we're all adopting today, so.
Hold on. Yeah, Tolly's gonna I think I'm just gonna take this dog here over to the inn real quick before we go see Good Boy Buddy. Can wait there. I don't think they allow animals, in the place anyway, and you never know where it would go, and I think it's really just best if it stayed, like you don't have a happy home at the caravan,
The way you did that was beautiful.
Yeah, that is that is her proposal.
Does the party go along with it?
Sure, friend.
I have no say.
All right. Do you name the dog yet, or do you how do you bring it to the inn? Like, how do you introduce this dog to the caravan?
Yeah, so she would. I think that she would just be. I think she would walk in with the dog and just be like, "Hey, I've got a new dog. It's gonna be in my room. Let it out later." And that's what she would do.
What is the inn made out of?
What? Oh,
Is it
yeah.
made out of wood by chance?
That I wanted to for a moment there, but decided against it. There's definitely the beds are made out of wood, but pretty much everything in this city is either made out of beach glass or marble.
Yeah, on her way down, she will, if they don't stop her, she'll be like, "Oh yeah, it breathes fire. You might want to check on it sometimes," and then just keep walking.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's just see 1 second. All right, the dog seems okay. It actually sees the bed and like carefully puts a paw on it to test it, and then like sees how soft it is, and it just flops onto it and does like the rolls on its back and wiggles around and messes up all the blankets, and then it just relaxes.
Yeah, I mean, Tolly will definitely make sure the dog is like comfortable, and like if the dog like was having super separation anxiety or something, she wouldn't just leave it up there, right?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I actually rolled to see, like on a scale of 1 to 20, how anxious it would be without you, and it rolled a 5. So it's
cool.
okay. It's mildly like, oh, where you going? That's sad. But then that's it. You know, it's chill.
Cool. Lovely. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So the three of you head over to Good Boy Buddy. You know the drill by now. Weapons away, spell books there, tag put on the scythe, and Good Boy Buddy is sitting at his desk working with Sandy Feathers. And he looks up and you hear the tail thumping, and he goes, "Oh, it's so nice to see you all again. How did it go?
It went okay.
Is the Is the problem safe now? Are we able to continue?"
No.
The tail wagging stops. Oh, what?
The problem is handled, but you can no longer trespass through that area.
And why is that? Is there a larger danger?
No,
Can you
it's a
remind me of the name of the
graveyard.
god?
Can I remind me the name of the god? It's the 1 second. It's the god of wind and flying, D&D air god. Akadi.
It is Sacred Grounds of Akadi. Um, Recently, it has been disturbed, and guardians have been raised to defend it. I tried to make peace, and while they respected us after we had to deal with them, they do not wish anyone else to trespass through that land. It would be in everyone's best interest for this to be heeded.
A Is it a sort of sacred place? Like,
Yes, sacred.
okay. Well, that is good to know. Thank you. I will
And
arrange to have scouts map out the area that we cannot pass through. Thank you.
if you wish to communicate with the spirits, I found this writing the symbol of Akadi in the sand um, may grant you some sort of audience. I can't say for certain whether or not that'll be honored, but um, if you wish to negotiate or at least try to understand the boundaries a bit better, that might be an option.
Can you? And he reaches out to an inkwell, and this ink is red. And he goes, "Oh, that's highlighter. 1 second." And then he'll reach out to a black inkwell and pass it over. And he'll go, "Can you please draw on a parchment what it looks like?"
Hey,
And as I begin doing that,
Yeah, you cut out.
what's your archaeologist friend's name? The one with the necklace?
Thurgood.
They're good.
they're good.
Okay. Thank you.
And as I begin drawing the symbol, I'm like, oh, and this is my new friend, Captain Bob.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had the golem with you. And his eyes narrow just for a moment, not in like threatening, he's just kind of like confused. Because you were literally dropping goblins from the sky like it was your fucking job yesterday. So he's confused why you have a friend goblin. And he goes, "Oh, Captain Bach, what army are you a captain of?
I wouldn't say army, more so part of the Royal Queen's Guard.
Oh, I did not know there. I apologize. He doesn't even finish like the thing that he is about to say. He just feels sorry for thinking it and then apologizes.
Anyways, these goblins, I'm trying to make sure that they can more properly integrate into society, and I'm sure you understand how pressing of an issue that is. So if you know of any area or grounds in which they may be able to start calling home, um, I would like that information.
Oh, well, I will admit that there's not any places I know that are very welcome to goblins, in general, but maybe you can talk to one of the protesters, the ones who are advocating for goblin rights. Um, they are usually, and he'll look outside to see what time of day it is, and he goes, they should be congregating around town hall in about an hour. Maybe you could talk with one of them.
Yes, yes, I'll go do that thing.
And of course, I need to pay you. And he'll pull out, he'll unlock a key with a key, and pull out 3 gold, 3 things of 150 gold pieces. And he goes, I thank you very much for the services you have done for this city. Is there anything else I could do for you?
Nope.
Well,
No.
I wish you all the best. And you too, Captain Bach. Welcome to Vara.
Oh, actually, Tali will turn around and say, actually, you should talk to the archaeologists. Maybe Thurgood might be a good person about making sure that that you have sites checked for things like this before you start trying to do construction and get people hurt.
Um, he will he'll do the little dog head tilt. And he'll go, that is a very good idea. I am not the one that oversees the construction. I'm just the one that makes sure that the right people solve the right problems. But I will certainly ask the ones who make those decisions to be a little bit more mindful.
Great.
I hope you all enjoy your day. I look forward to seeing you again.
Yep, likewise.
All right, where's everyone going after that, just so I have an idea?
I would want to go to the goblin protesters, but I'm currently looking up a character sheet for Bach right now.
Oh my god. Sure thing. Well, here's the issue. Artificers are
I want to
now.
head home.
Okay. We'll do Willows first, but just as an aside, Corey, artificers, because they're Eberron, if you're doing, they are locking it down now because it's now paid content, not in like the general you can access it now. Um, D&D Beyond lets you buy the class for $2, which I have. So if you want to make him a Battlesmith Artificer, I can just make a character sheet for him later. But just assume.
I was just gonna make him. I was kidding about the artificer. I was just gonna make him a fighter because it's just easier to deal with that.
I love artificers. Though.
I mean, we can. Do you? I mean, do you want to make him an artificer? We can.
I want him to be an artificer. I'll.
Okay, we can talk about that off stream. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, Willow, you go home. How do you actually? I think I always like the thing where you walk in and Zola's like, "Welcome to the steady." Oh, how'd it go?
Went okay. It's kind of a dirty job.
I was just about to say, you kind of smell like you need a bath.
I've been prestigitatized,
Yeah,
haven't
but
I? Eric is asking.
I imagine you were, but she'll go, I don't know. I've been practicing that cantrip real good, and there's just something about bats that just gets stuff that the magic can't.
You're probably right. How was your night alone? How'd you do it?
I mean, same way I did it for the last time you were gone. Read a lot, and I learned this. And then she'll pull out a copper wire, and you'll hear in your head, I know I can do this already, but now I can do it differently.
How differently?
Well, it's just she's casting message like through the components rather than just with like her racial like sending, pretty much.
Oh, okay. I thought she was casting message in a new way.
Oh no, sorry. No, it's just it's new to like her, but not new to like rules content.
All right. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty neat. Good job. You're coming along quite nicely.
Thanks. So so what's going on? Are you working the shop today? Am I gonna mind the shop again? And what's
I'll
the deal
take
with
care
the
of it for the rest of the day. Don't worry. Why don't you go
Thanks.
get some sleep? I know you stayed up too late reading.
Well, you know me. Can I uh can I go to one of the theaters tonight?
Why do you want to go to one of the theaters?
I just want to watch a show.
Tell me about these theaters, DM, so
Yeah,
that I can better.
it's just essentially like just imagine like Nickelodeon's in a way, but with live performance instead of like film. So maybe there's like some filmic aspects where they use magic to have sort of pre-recorded material, but most of it is live, and it's kind of like a lot of little shows that people put together into like a lot of little movies that are short rather than like feature length films. But it's like one of those like little popular things that like uh yeah, what am I saying, like 12 to like 18-year olds would want to kind of like spend their evening doing.
Sure, I'll give her some of the money I made today, and I'll send her out.
Nice. And she'll go, gee, thanks. And she'll head up and go to sleep.
Oh, she's taking like a nap before she goes.
Well, you just told her to go to sleep, so the
Well, it's the middle of the day, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yep. And then, Tali, what are you doing after this? Are you gonna go to the thing with Tartha?
Uh, yeah. Um, yes, I will. But I do want to pick up my dog first.
Okay.
When is Taratha going?
Um,
Technically?
you you would have to haul ass. You can do it, but you're just gonna have to haul ass to get to the protesters because they are there for say like an hour, maybe two each day, and you're in the middle of like you're in the kind of governmental district of the town, and your thing is like at the south of Bard's Cross. So and it's a big city,
Hmm.
so you would have to like catch like a carriage or like run like run the entire time, but you can make it there and back, but you can't like linger to get the dog.
Um, yeah, on second thought, no, she would not go, given that information.
Yeah, and
She
also
does
this
not
dog has
care enough.
never been in the city before.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yeah, if she doesn't actually care that she doesn't care enough about this to like actually run there. So, no, she is not going to go with Taratha. She's going to go catch a nap, actually, I think, is what
Okay,
she's going to try to do.
nice. Taratha, you have to wait around just a little bit, but then you see them start to form. You notice that like this, the town hall has like a center specific for people looking to like protest, and there's always like an official minding it to listen or to watch, and some of them are just people that like are stone faced the entire time, but there's also people that are actively engaging with it as well. So like there's a certain time and day that people are allotted. So it seems like the Goblin Rights people are allotted, like this hour on a daily basis because this is a very pressing issue. But things that are a little bit slow to come would only get allotted time like once a week or twice a week, sort of thing. So the previous protesters filter out. Some of them stay and exchange their signs for, something new. And you start seeing people filter in with signs that say, equal beings, equal rights, things like that. Goblins are humanoids too. What do you do?
That's cute. I want to go to whoever has a clipboard and like looks the most official.
All right. Give me a perception check.
14.
It takes you a little bit of time. You have to navigate a lot of people. Like you'll see someone with a clipboard, but it's really just it's not like the kind of information gathered. They're just using it to like as a back, not because they're keeping records of anything. But you do eventually find someone who looks to be and actually it's hard to find her because she's dwarven and she is easily lost in the crowd. And she looks up to you and she goes, "Are you looking to join the cause?"
Not so much. I'm looking to find an answer.
Cool. And actually, as a question, is Bach with you?
Oh, for sure, Bach is with.
Okay. So sorry, that'll change a little bit. She'll look to you and then she'll see Bach and then immediately shuffle her clipboard away and she will offer a hand to Captain Bach and she'll go, "It's an honor to meet you." And Bach will look very confused and he's never had like a proper handshake before. And he looks to you and he goes, What do I do with this?"
You firmly, but not too firmly. Clasp the hand and shake up and down. It's how we greet each other.
And yeah, he does exactly what you say to do. He looks a little stiff while doing it, but it's a solid handshake. And the dwarven lady will go, "It's it's so nice to see you in the town. What can I do for you two?"
We need a residence or maybe a couple residences to house the sand goblins living north of the.
I'm sorry, you cut off a little bit.
Yes, we need a residence or a couple residences to house the sand goblins living north of the city.
Oh, how many sand goblins?
How many are there?
I'd say there's about 12 that are left over that are still alive. Because you cleared
How
out
did-
a lot. Actually, you know what? You cleared out a lot of goblins. So she is
Yes,
actually. Christ, I did not play this out right at all. Um,
you
I'm
could
going
say
to
it took a moment to actually figure out who I was.
And she at this point was just pretending to be nice instead of actually forgetting what you are. And she will hold her clipboard tightly to her chest, and she'll go, "At the expense of how many?"
There's about a dozen goblins north, and we're looking to have them set up here.
And why would you want to do that?
Simple. These goblins are sentient beings. They deserve rights,
They
whatever kind
weren't
of
sentient to
issues.
you the other day or last week.
Oh, they certainly were. However, they were under command of a quite wicked queen, a queen that has been dethroned. And now we're looking to make sure that they integrate into society. And obviously, I have come to you because I know that you and your followers can ensure that they are safe, educated, and that their integration in general goes smoothly.
And she'll eyeball you. and she'll go, I don't think we're gonna work with you. You could do an insight
And
check. Or if you could ask questions, but you could also do an insight check.
it's a crit.
Nice. She was making faces whenever you use the word integrate. And also
You cut off a little. What she's making
uh,
faces
when you said integrate, and it's sort of like that she doesn't she like in a sort of like you're coming off very colonialist to her is what you can get out of that. And also she doesn't know that you are their queen, but just the whole dethroned and knowing how powerful you are, she can kind of guess that you had some sort of involvement, but she doesn't know to what extent.
Look, I get the hesitation. I get it. However, under the rule of their previous queen, um, they antagonized me and other people like me in ways that we obviously didn't find flattering. We have, and this is why I've also brought to you. Consider me an intermediary, but I'd rather you work with them directly. You don't have to work through.
So what is happening now that they no longer have this queen? Are they free?
Of course, they're free.
I'm just gonna have Captain Bach read the room. He reads the room just fine and keeps his mouth shut. And he will give a little bow towards the dwarven lady, and he'll go, my friend freed us. We wish to do good to the city. We wish to no longer live in the outskirts, and we need refuge until we're what again? And he totally forgot all the stuff that you just said.
Integrated.
Integrated. We wish to be integrated. And give me a persuasion check, Corey.
It's not the best, but thank God I'm proficient in it. It's going to be a 50.
She will look at you for a long time, and she'll go, I'm willing to arrange something, but I'm only going to talk with goblins about it. I don't think that we need your help at this point anymore.
Absolutely. You'll go up north and you will find a goblin who's currently running the camp up there, Gabak. He will help you with whatever arrangements you need. Bach is currently traveling with me. We have an arrangement separate to all of
And what is that arrangement?
Bach here is quite intelligent. I think he could harness that intelligence to, frankly, not serve a trash queen, and instead put it into other adventures. He seems quite of the tinkering sort, and I want to make sure that he is properly educated.
Properly.
Yes, I'm going to be his mentor. Do you have an issue with?
She'll stare, and she'll go, this doesn't wash the blood off your hands. And she'll scribble something down, which will be an address, and pass it over to you. And you recognize it as a address from like kind of like the it's upper middle class part of town. So northern Bard's Cross, close to the I think south. I forget which what I named it. I'll have to find the map. But yeah, 1 second.
And I'll read it, and I will say thank you, and then I'll start to turn and walk away with Bach. But as I do, I'll look back like, oh, by the way, make sure to watch out for the fire-breathing hounds.
You only left one. And there's only
But
one.
they don't know that.
Oh, okay. Nice. Here. So you would know 1 second. Upper ward, sorry. So it's kind of like in this area. So like everyone is from like Bard's Cross that you know of right now. Then there's the Upper Ward over here, and then like the super fancy that the where the Alcotts live. That's Old Town.
Gotcha.
So, all right. Willow, do you do anything else for the rest of the day, or are you just kind of waiting to recongregate eventually with your friends?
I'm just giving Zola the day off, and then I'll reconvene later with the friends. I guess we're gonna go on our road trip soon.
Yup. I'm gonna pop over to Tali briefly. Tali, Bing Bam comes over to you after you finish your nap and you're having your lunch at the end,
Mm.
and he'll go, "So, how's it going?"
It's all right. How are you?
"Pretty good. I need you to run a quick errand."
Sure. What's up?
"Cool. I need you to go to Benjamin's place, the botanist, and pick up some of the plants so we have some order on him, or have on order from him. We're gonna sell it when we go to Buccal.
Great.
So, sorry, Bucral. And it's already paid for. Just get the receipt and get the plants. I recommend bringing something, probably like a crate with a lid or a chest. They're kind of nasty. I don't even know why we sell them anymore, but I mean, people still ask for them, and gotta give what the customer wants and all that."
What kind of plant is it?
You would know. It's essentially like a piranha plant. And it's a man-eating plant, and it's typically used as like security.
uh, all right. Cool. Great.
Yeah, but
Entire city of Little Shop of Horrors. Phenomenal.
pretty much. But the thing is, these you only get them as babies. So
Right.
you
Yeah.
sell them at a very like inexpensive price because like it's a 50-50 shot whether someone knows how to like take care of it well enough to have it reach adulthood, and it
Mhm.
takes like 2 or 3 years for it to grow
Okay.
to proper man-eating size.
Yeah. She will search the inn for an appropriate box
Mhm.
and make sure that she takes the dog out for a sec and
Mhm.
then go.
All right. We'll pause there. Taratha, because I just like the whole party to be at this part, just
Yeah.
because. But
I would probably go get Willow now that I think about it. Just be like, or at least go say hey, see if she wants to come along.
yeah. So I'll resolve Taratha's because I know that you wanted to reach out to the Alcotts and figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
So I figured we could resolve that, and all three of you could have your things going on. So you go to the Alcott residence, and what was I gonna say? Alistair is still working hard, very similarly to how you saw him the last time. And he looks up and he goes, "Oh, hello. How's it going?"
Well, my child, how are you?
"Well, I did what you asked for. I spent some time at the bookshop that you told me to go to. There was a nice young lady minding the shop, and I bought some books from her."
That's delightful.
Hmm. She, she's nice.
Her aunt will be good. Will be glad to hear that.
Hmm. And, well, and he pushed, sorry, I'm pushing, like, my dice tray to motion as if, like, you could see me pushing, the thing. He'll, sorry, Eric in chat, just caps locked, this, but anyway, sorry, I got distracted by chat. So he'll he'll push a couple of books over to you, and he'll go, "I admittedly did not find all that much, unfortunately. but I can tell you why. There's an old order, I guess, that was disbanded. One that worked. I don't even know what they went to achieve, what they tried to achieve. But I remember this symbol, and he'll open the book, and I'll just kind of draw it out real quick. And can you give me a history check while I draw it?
Yes, that's going to be an unnatural 20.
Oh, beautiful. So it's like it's a circle, and it's in purple, and then there is a triangle, like kind of bursting through it, and the triangle is filled in solid, and the circle is open, and it's all in purple, and he'll push it over to you, and he'll go, I remember this was on my father's arm for the longest time. And the day after that, he had his arm wrapped uh, for quite some time. And there was a lot of scarring. And it sounds to me like this information is locked away in the restricted section of town, of the city.
Hmm.
And
You
you would
said whose armor was it on against?
his father. So what you
Gotcha.
gather is there was a tattoo that everyone in this particular order was a part of, and as soon as like shit hit the fan, um, people either removed it by choice or were forced to remove it. Um, and so his arm was scarred from the removal of that tattoo. And
Gotcha.
there's a diary that references like something, but it's been redacted. Like all of his stuff must have been confiscated by the city guard, and then only returned once they were able to redact any sort of symbol or mention of this place or where it might be. But with your history check, you remember when you were looking at the pictures of the dogs and the families in Good Boy Buddy's office, that there was a painting, like, so there's a painting and there's a painting of a painting in the picture of the family with the dog that had that symbol within it. So you've seen this before, but not, you haven't really encountered this particular thing before. Does that make sense? Or like you haven't encountered people
Gotcha.
that you know of or this order specifically, but you have seen this symbol at least very recently somewhere before. Um, and
So I'm like, and I lean down to Captain Bach and I say, "This is what we're going to be looking for when we get you and your friends into the city."
a circle, a picture,
This whole thing, yes.
and where can we find you when we find this picture?
And I turn to Alistair. I'm like, Alistair, I'm going to need a couple sending stones.
And he'll look at the goblin with a little bit of disdain, and he'll go, "You trust this thing to not take it for himself?"
We're trying to work on being more trusting, Alistair.
He looks confused as shit. He goes, "But the last time you told me to trust no one, and not even you." You
Yes, but I'm
literally.
also
Sorry.
you're learning. No, I handle the goblin issue up north, and I've kind of assumed myself as a sort of queen. Quaint, isn't it?
Well, are you are you looking to be queen of goblins or queen of everyone now?
I'm looking to get eyes and ears all over the city in a way that will benefit us, and working through with the goblin rights people um, is one surefire way to do that.
Hmm. The protesters.
Yes, and as soon as they come into the city, the protesting will, I imagine, lighten up just a little bit.
Hmm. Interesting.
Now, also, while you're looking for those sending stones, if you could go pick up a couple books on artificing, I have a use.
And Alistair will give you a look and he goes, "Don't you remember the last time when I said I'm practicing the not doing things for people thing and making people do things for me thing?"
Then what would you have me do?
Well, you could ask one of my servants to do that for you.
I peek my head out the door and I scream at some probably scared little boy.
Sounds good. All right. Yeah. So there's definitely someone around that will do that for you. And Alistair will go, "Well, as always, it's a pleasure." You
And make sure to tune sending stone to me as well so that we can communicate. I might be going off on a caravan soon, which
hmm,
might make my advisory be remote for some time being.
all right. Uh, is that because of a vision?
It's more of a I need to see what else is happening outside of this city. Like I told you, I'm scared about the hall, and I'm not finding a lot of answers here. And I fear, and I think not fear, but I think going. I think what the city was south, right?
Yes.
And I think heading south might give me some answers.
Well, I wish you the best, Taratha, and I look forward to when you return.
Indeed, and please, if you could, this is just a little favor, but I on my little subjects. Um, I think that would go a long way.
Oh, one more time.
If you could keep an eye on my little subjects, I think that would go a long way.
I'll have my servants look to it.
Cool. So I take the sending stones and I hand Bach the book on artificing.
Yeah.
I'm like, read up.
All right. And then just to because I just want to make sure I get all the information clearly over to you. Um, to get access to the restricted section, you have to have approval from a bunch of different places. It would take probably a couple months to get access to it. And that's even if you're approved, because this information is because Vara keeps all information, but anything that's in the restricted section is deemed to be dangerous for society to know. So you have to have very good city saving reasons to, or people saving reasons to have access to this thing. Um, it's highly guarded. It's possible to sneak in. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's there's a reason why it's no one gets in, pretty much. Um,
Gotcha.
the other thing is you have a sense that if you're able to track stuff down, maybe people would be able to know, people who were around and kind of involved with this thing at the time would know, but you have to go scouting for that information, so that's another way you could do it. And then yeah, that's it.
That's what the goblins.
Yep. All right, so I'm just going to say that you go back to Willow's place. Zola greets you, and what was I gonna say?
Oh,
Um,
Zola, I
at the
heard you
same
met my
time that
friend.
Tali goes, or about around the same time, and Zola will go, "Your friend."
Yes. Heard he came in, bought a couple books. He says you were quite kind.
All right.
Is this within earshot of Willow?
I would say yeah. Like, I don't think unless Tarith is trying to be like stealthy about it.
No.
Yeah. So then Willow would hear. And
I give Tareth that kind of the squint, that kind of like
Yeah.
squinty eyed, like I'm watching you kind of look.
If you don't want her to be seen, Willow, then you shouldn't have her work the front desk.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, your aunt is overprotective for reasons I can't quite discern. But she did praise you the other day, said you could take care of yourself, which
And
I'm inclined to believe.
she'll snap her head over in Willow's direction and give like a big grin. She goes, "Does this mean I don't have to do the morning workouts anymore?"
No, that's not what it means.
Darn it.
Though I can teach you a little trick to help you kind of take care of moving these books around. I imagine getting up and having to lift books, put them back in the stacks gets quite tight.
Oh, but
And I start showing her a little bit about Mage Hand.
She's interested in Mage Hand, but she'll go, I don't know, I really like being able to hold the books and look through it and just make sure that everything's right. And if I see a little crease in it, I can flatten it out real good. And if I'm using magic for that, well, then I'm not going to be able to give it the love that it needs.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but the more you get in tuned with your Mage Hand, the more it's going just to feel like a little bit of an extension of yourself. And that's really what magic is meant to be. Not this kind of distant force, but something that is uniquely but truly you.
All right, whatever. No, I'm kidding. She'll go, all right, but I still don't think I'm gonna use it on the books. Maybe for washing dishes. That's what I'll use it for.
Smart thing.
Yeah, I don't like washing dishes.
And then I give like a look at Willow, like, mind link me. I don't know if we've established anything.
You're mind linked. You're mind linked.
I love the mind link thing.
And then I say, well, I've got good news and I've got bad.
Yeah.
Which one would you like to hear first?
Just speak.
Well, we're in a precarious position. I have a lead on what your sister might have found out. But apparently 15 years ago, Alcott Sr. Was a part of some sort of organization. And then I give him like a mind image of that symbol. And then I say,
I don't think that's how mind link works, but okay. Just keep going. Just keep going. You're doing a good job.
I don't know how mind link works. Anyways, and so yeah, that he quickly had to remove. The only lead that I have is that this information about this organization and the kind of significance of this symbol is in the restricted section.
All right. And so you need my help?
Well, it's more of a matter of we're going to need each other's help if we want to uncover this.
Sure, I can get you there.
How can you get me there? Where it's going to take months for us to get approval.
DM, I have a library card.
I mean,
no, my background says I have library access.
Yes, but not restricted section access.
I assume that I have some sort of special access that is above and beyond what like an average person would have based on the background.
You would, but not to this particular section.
Well, we'll have to grease some wheels then.
Yes, and it's going to take months, so whatever we need to start putting
let's
this
see if
in
we
motion.
can get it done today. Feature, though
mm,
others must often endure extensive interviews and significant fees to gain access to even the most common archives in your library, you have free and access to the majority, though it might also have repository lore that are too valuable. So so that's my cloistered scholar background, right? So I assume that I could maybe swing that this is part of my research because I'm a researcher. I've published books, right? So
Yes,
you know,
like that, you could definitely help out with that, but they're not just gonna let you walk in. So
yeah, I'm saying we're gonna go in and convince them today.
Great.
Willow is very motivated. Willow does not like this month's talk.
Willow, I mean, the unfortunate thing is, I could try to waive the Alcott name. I could get signed letters. I could go through Alistair and his noble friends and kind of expedite it. But the thing is, we're not just going to walk in there today. That's just not going to happen.
Well, let's give it a shot and see where we end up. Don't forget that I too have my ways.
We all have our
Also-
ways, but if you want in there today,
Sorry, just to interrupt, Corey. Like, your character at least would know that, like, because the Alcotts were very much rooted in this, you would guess that waving that name around would probably not be the best idea. Just in this particular context.
Well, if you guys are done measuring your tits, I have to go run an errand.
Mind blinking. So
If you if you would like to come with me while I do that, that would be great. Otherwise, I am happy to do it on my own. They're kind of cool. They're man-eating plants. But also y'all have business. That's,
I would love
pressing.
to do man-eating plants with you. Also, so you're just like saying this out loud now because you can't hear what we're arguing
And
about.
then Zola will go.
Yeah, I mean, after a while of awkwardly standing there and Tolly likely recognizing that she is like not a part of a conversation that she can hear, like, right? Like that there is something else going on because you don't just randomly just stare at each other for 5 minutes. She is just gonna say that out loud.
Yeah, can we stop at the library on our way over?
I mean, you could do both today. It's just what order are you gonna go to?
Did Bing Bam, like, was there a sense of urgency there? Or was it like, if you could get to this sometime today, that'd be great?
Yeah, it's a today or tomorrow thing.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
All right. So we're doing what's it called? Library first?
Sure.
Or
Sure.
okay, I just wasn't because what's the party? I'm just trying to know for sure what we're doing.
can Zola and Bach play while we're gone?
Zola, let's just she'll look at a Bach and she'll go, so you're a little goblin? And Bach, well, yes, I am. And Zola will look over to you and she goes, don't goblins kill people or something like that?
People kill people.
Well,
Read my mind.
But Bach's a good man.
ain't they been throwing trash on mages for a while? I don't want to be covered in trash.
No, they're clean.
And she'll look over to Bach and give him kind of like the Willow look of like the kind of narrowed eyes, and she goes, I'll give you a fair shake, but if you throw trash on me, I'm throwing you out. And the goblin will give him a nod and he'll say, "Oh, no trash, no trash." And he'll look to Taratha. Is she a captain?
Sorry, you cut off.
Oh, he'll look to Taratha and go, "Is she a captain?"
No, she's a bookkeep.
A what?
She's a bookkeep.
Oh, and
She
he'll hold up a the artificer book, and he'll go, "Ken, you got more like this?" And immediately, like, oh yeah, let me show you. And like, she's now in her element right now, just trying to peddle books at people. So
I've
you
got to
got
AFK for like 1 minute and I'll be back.
sure thing. But yeah, at this point now you know that the two of them are gonna be occupied for hours now that there's information to be shared.
beautiful.
Yep. So sorry, just to be clear, library or the what's it called, plant.
Let's do library first, since I think that's okay.
Bowie.
And it probably won't take that long, I guess.
Sounds good.
According to Corey.
Sounds sorry, my dogs are barking, but anyway. So yeah, you'll get to the library. You've out of curiosity, like, how much research has Willow done? Like, does she have published books? I just want to, like, I know that you have the librarian background, but not all librarians like publish research, so I'm just not sure how well known Willow is as a writer.
I think pretty decently known. I assume she, I mean, this relatively, she's definitely published some work doing the oral history stuff and whatnot.
Right. Sounds good. So
I
yeah,
just expect this to be like one of her areas of expertise. And of course, her sister was somebody who would have all the access to this kind of stuff too. So.
Yeah, I mean, your sister, like, the only people that have unrestricted access to the restricted section are artificers. Like, not even like the top tier city guards can just walk in.
Oh
So,
yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, sorry, I want to give you your background stuff, but I also want to make it clear, like, the sort of, like, the heavy restrictions that are on this restriction section. But yeah, so you'll walk in. I'm gonna say there are magical library cards that you swipe. And you swipe yours, and there's a little like, you can tell it's like a minor illusion effect. Where it just says welcome. And it'll say your name as you walk in, or show your name as you walk in. And the library is huge. Like, this is like imagine the New York Public Library. You probably haven't, but the New York Public Library is huge and it's beautiful, and it's like there's like spaces just to sit down and read, regardless of whether you're checking books out or not. There's like mini museum type things and like rotating displays. Um, and you have to walk a while before you get to the like, there's different circulation desks and application desks, but the ones for the more serious ones are kind of located deeper into the library. And there's an elven lady who is working at the desk, and she smiles politely as you approach, and she goes, "Oh, well, hello, how can I help you?"
What's the name of the section we're trying to get into?
It's just called the restricted section, but like, and it says a restricted section, but you know that with the amount of information that Vara hoards, it is huge. So you don't get like, when you get access to the restricted section, you're asking for a specific part or a specific title or a specific kind of subject of the restricted section. You're not just allowed to go in and have at anything in there. So you would.
What is the section that we're looking to go to?
So you would just say what the type of information you're looking for, and you could discuss this with Corey how you want to approach it. Like, we could kind of retcon it a little, but it's about an order, whose name you don't know of yet, whose purpose you don't know of yet, but you know only the symbol that it was, and you know the date that this particular what's it called, order was put to rest.
Do you think that there'd be like an approximate thing near that I could ask about? Because I don't want to go asking about secret orders, but something, I'm trying to think of something that would be like housed in the same section that would be more along, like would this be in a section on like symbols or like secret organizations? I'm just trying to understand a little
Yeah,
more because
like
like
you can.
right now things are kind of vague-ish.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a like I'm not trying to be unhelpful. Like I just wanted to really kind of show how on lockdown this particular information is and how well Vara is, how good Vara is at like hiding information or not hiding, but like locking information away that they believe is detrimental to society. So you could ask for it in terms of symbols. You could ask for it in terms of kind of organizations that the state put an end to. You don't have to ask for the specific one, but there's definitely ways around it that you can ask for. So if you have an idea, I will let you know if that would make sense or not.
Yeah, I was thinking of like because like her area of expertise as a scholar is like kind of looking at rural and desert peoples and things of that nature.
Hmm.
And so um maybe something along the lines of like if she could think of like a rural peoples that she may like maybe like to do research on, that maybe that could be uh she could use that to like could get near the thing and then go just get the book that she actually wants while in that same section or whatever.
You would be monitored, and each book would be like taken out. So like you would need to find the book that like you would need to give a reason to get a book that has that information, but pretending that you're looking for something different than that information.
Yeah, then yeah, Willow might be able to do
Yeah.
this, but Eric
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily
Okay.
know exactly because he doesn't understand every facet of the politics of the place.
Yeah, that's fine. So what I'm gonna say is, if you wanted to swing it in terms of doing information on rural people, you would have to say that you are trying to do a study on someone who maybe was on the wrong side of the law, or someone who was from a like who tried to start sort of like maybe like a clan of their own, but then it got what disbanded by the government. So if you wanted to go that route, that would probably be what you would have to say to get access to the books that would have the information with that symbol in it.
All right, then let's take that route.
Okay. So the woman at the desk should go, "Oh well, that is quite the task. Are you doing this research for a university?"
Um, Maybe it'll be published for one of the universities eventually, but right now I'm in the beginning stages of sorting out my research on this topic.
All right, all right. And she's making faces at that because you could tell like things that are more personal and not through an institution.
Well,
And
I could say, it's in relation to, previous works I've done. It's not just like personal, right? Like,
right.
and she would give some sort of explanation that would be like, it's she would kind of explain that like, that it would be related to uh like maybe something that would be like important in terms of the current political climate or something like that.
And she'll hand you a stack of papers, and she'll go, I'll be honest, your name does get you far, but without a research grant or an institution to answer to, it's probably going to be difficult to get this in the usual time you would expect. Um, she'll and you can tell that you're probably going to get like a yes, but there's going like as it is right now, it's going to take closer to the months that you don't want, and you're probably not going to have a wider access that you would want to have if you had a little bit more something more solid to go to. So she would suggest to you to file the paperwork now, but if you want it to be quicker, then you should probably see if you could get some sort of organization. And in that case, it probably would go down from months to a month.
Can I fill it out? Then also, can I do both things?
Yeah, so you could start the paperwork now and hand it in, and you can update the paperwork as something comes in.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to say the paperwork is like kind of mountainous, so you're going to have to fill it out at home rather than here, so that everyone could go over to the botanist place.
Thumbs up.
All right. So you go over to Bard's Cross again, to a very large. It almost looks like a what was I gonna say? Like a city park in a way. It's got a very large greenhouse that's like magical. So it's still you could see like the shimmering thing, very similar to what the entire city is encased in. But this particular one's a lower level of magic. And you walk in, and there's a nice gate over the front of it. Like there's a little like structure over here where you know that Benjamin is in, but like down here's an entryway gate, and it says Benjamin Botton's Botany, and you walk in, and there's lots of flowers, exotic plants, cacti, this, that, and the other thing. There is water here with fish and other interesting things. It's almost like it almost is like a city park, but you could tell that everything that is here is like grown with the hope of like being sold as well. So he does floral arrangements. He does growing exotic plants, and you walk into this area, and this now it went from this sort of little green oasis to a nice neat shop with lots of flowers, and it's a very beautiful setup. It's professional, but very well decorated. And you see a halfling man sitting at his desk, kind of going over numbers, and there's a younger human, like probably around like 15, 16 years old, lounging on some of the chairs, reading a newspaper. And the did I say gnome or halfling? I already forget. I always confuse the two.
Halfling.
Okay, thanks. And the halfling guy will look up, and he'll notice Tally right away, and he'll give you a wave, and he goes, "Hello there. Ready to get that pickup going?"
For sure, got the box and everything.
Oh man, these
She'll like
things
hold it up.
these things are they're real biters. Let me tell you. You should probably put a lock on that top. You have a lid for that thing?
Yeah, of course.
Fantastic. He'll start to get off of his little stool and walk over, and then he'll look at the he'll open a like a closet door, and you can hear like the snapping on the other side, and he's like, "Hey, Big Toby, why don't you help your uncle out here?" And the human boy will put his what's it called, his newspaper down. And what's everyone's passive perception?
I think mine is 18 or 19.
15.
Okay, Willow, you notice the newspaper is opened up to a page, and the what's it called? The heading says Coliseum tryouts, um, and it's kind of talking about the tryouts for the upcoming tournament that is going on at the Coliseum, and the tournament. I don't know if Willow would have really been involved in this sort of scene because it's a very showy sort of prowess that people show. It's like a little bit too much of a hype. It's like WWE style type of thing. But the people who win this gets what's called the hero's wish, where they're pretty much able to wish for anything in the city, and with the exception of like very overtly bad choice wishes gets granted. And McToby will very carefully pull out this like a couple of pots of these man-eating plants. And right now they're only about like 6 inches tall. Imagine the piranha plants from Mario. And like you could tell that McToby is a pro at dealing with these ones because Benjamin is way too small and would easily get, nibbled up by these plants. And you could tell by the band-aids on his fingers that like he probably moved them today while McToby was still sleeping. And the boy picks the pots up and places them in the box, and he'll go, well, sorry, the boy will look at you and go, you've got your work cut out for you with those ones, miss.
Well, luckily I won't have to babysit them for long. Just in transport this time, and then they aren't my problem anymore.
Fair enough. So you sell these plants specifically? Where do you go with them? And he's just he's very clearly trying to like do like chatter for like, how like business people do with customers, but he's still practicing and kind of awkward about it. And like he was probably like nudged by Benjamin a lot to get to this point. So you can tell he's trying but not doing a good job at it.
What was the name of the city again?
Vara or
No, where we're taking these things.
Bucral.
Oh well, the caravan, we move things from city to city often, particularly when some things like these plants aren't available. Um, so we're just taking them to I literally forgot the name that you just said.
Bucral.
Okay. Yeah, we're just taking them to Bucral this time.
All right. As that happens, Willow, you also notice a little spider on Tally's shoulder, and it wasn't there moments ago. And McToby will respond, "Oh well, that's interesting," and he'll give a smile and a thumbs up, and he'll look back to his uncle for approval, and the uncle just puts his face in his hands, and then looks up to Tally and just like mouths at her like, just smile and nod.
Yeah, so yeah, Tally will definitely smile and nod. And be like, well, it's all thanks to you and your uncle here for growing these plants so we can sell them elsewhere. So thanks for that.
You're welcome. If you need anything, just let us know. And then Willow, you are all like, maybe you were gonna tell Tali about something with the spider, or maybe you're gonna like swat it off her shoulder, but the spider just literally disappears. Not in the Kelly talking about combat. It literally appears and then disappears.
What's the symbol of Tali's god? Is it like a spider?
It is not.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Interesting, but I'll keep it to myself for now.
And McToby will lay back on the chairs, and he picks up and starts, reading once again. What does the party do?
You need help carrying those?
There's only one box, right?
Correct. I mean, it's a fairly big box. You have about like 10 of these plants in it. So
Cool. I'm trying to imagine what kind of box she would have brought. How heavy is it?
not terribly so. I'd say about 20 pounds.
So she'll say, no, I don't think I need help carrying the box, but it'd be really great if you walked in front of me and make sure that nobody like runs into me or anything like that, because it'd be bad if this box opened.
And Benjamin will go, You need a lock?
Short, yes.
And he'll nod to McToby, and McToby will sigh and put his paper down again, and he'll trot over and get a padlock, and he'll pass it over, and he goes, free padlock with every piranha plant purchase, and pass it over.
Great.
I'll flick Toby a gold and be like, thanks for such great service.
He looks over the moon. Like, this kid is so awkward, and like he's not on the clock really. It's just like he's around to learn how to do a better job at interacting with people, and he's not doing great, but like that just made his day.
Good.
Eyes shining, and he even gives a little bow at that. Cool. It's 4:32. Just for my planning purposes, I just want to know what the party is kind of expecting to do with their time before the caravan leaves. Are you planning to do anything in the city, or can I have the next session be sort of a time skip to leaving for uh, Bucral?
Is our money gonna come in before we leave?
I'll say yes.
I gotta set up my goblin homies.
Okay. So we could say that happens. Like, we don't have to get into the specifics just yet, but you can definitely get that done. Eric, what would Willow be doing in the time before the caravan?
Just running the shop and preparing Zola for
Sounds
some
good.
fights.
And then Leia, what would Tali be doing?
Yeah, so Tali is gonna be helping this dog acclimate to like city life. Gotta buy all the regular things that a dog needs.
Uh-huh.
And then training it just more generally. And then she might buy some shit. Because she'll have a little bit of coin in her purse to be able to. She'll just go shopping.
All right. And then just so I know, during the week, are you planning on having the dog be a party member or be part of the caravan? Because I'll send you stats and stuff that you could buy for the dog if so, but if it's going to be part of the caravan, then I'll handle the dog.
That's a really great question. She is gonna try this dog out on the road. And if it doesn't pose too much of a inconvenience for the other people around her, then it'll become a permanent member. And if it does, then she will leave it with the caravan.
Okay.
But I would take the stats for now.
Yeah,
and we'll just test it.
Sounds good. So we'll just say you only, like, you don't have to spend actual gold on this stuff. You'll just say you buy regular dog things. And if it ends up staying around, I could give you some things that you can potentially buy for this dog. I'll send the stats over soon. But it is 4:34, which is discussion time.
Woo!
So, go ahead.
I just said we made it. That's all.
Sorry.
Discussion time.
So, here's I have a couple of things that I'm kind of curious about as a DM. I've noticed a lot that in this particular setup, because everyone has their own situated interests in different things, there's a lot of like downtime for characters in between. Whereas like it was more of the whole party's together, but now we have a kind of split thing, and I wonder how that feels for players, like in terms of wait time versus satisfaction of achieving your character's specific goals.
I love it.
That's good.
I really like having downtime. Like, so if it's downtime with other people, like with the other PCs, or it's downtime with NPCs, I really love that in a campaign. So, yeah, that's what I would say. I think this is great.
Yeah, I don't mind. When it's somebody else's turn and there might be like a good 20-minute chunk where I'm not really doing much, I'll pull out Animal Crossing or something and just kind of listen while playing. I actually find that I listen a lot better than I would even if we were in person. Like if I've got something just preoccupying my hands. So you know what I mean? I've been playing a lot of guitar while you guys were doing that stuff.
Yup.
Gives me a nice bathroom break.
Yup. Okay, that's good. I just worry about like, fun versus because like everyone wants to be able to like find the thing and get information or just kind of solve certain problems that you may not be able to do as a whole party. Um, but yeah, like I'm a fan of that sort of kind of cycling around with different people because once it comes to being on the road and a lot of the other stuff, then yeah, you're gonna be together a lot and dealing with things together a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
it makes sense.
Another question that I have is laying down plot points when it becomes too like heavy-handed versus when it's like a nice like thing that you could pick up or put down. So I'm not sure what um, techniques you have as DMs, how you feel it's going for this particular campaign, things that people have done in the past that you found fun in terms of laying down plot points or sort of foreshadowing.
Well, I think that this campaign has been a little slow, not in a bad way, but in terms of just like we've been like kind of we just kind of like I think of like the last mind's of Fandelver, right? Like it's right
Yeah.
away you know what the big problem is, right? The which is, and I'm not saying we need to have a one singular big problem, but like it helps illustrate my point of like things going feeling a little slow. It's
Yeah.
like in that one, right? Like the guy gets captured and you're like, we have to go save our friend, right
Yep.
away. That's like what's on your mind.
Good old
And
Sildar.
yeah. And so I think that and in those terms, it maybe has been a little bit of a slow start. But on the other hand, it's been nice. We've had like a lot more like slice of life kind of moments than in previous campaigns, right? Where we're just running from the Inquisition the whole time or something.
Definitely. Other thoughts?
I think it's nice because to Eric's point, we all have our own lives here. We get to kind of like interact with the world in a way that doesn't always feel contrived, which is really nice. Like we're like members of the, like we're citizens, we're part of the city, people know who we are, we can rely on our position in society in order to get certain things done. That's also in part because I think of like starting at level 10, but also I think like that just general conceit, that we're part of a culture here. I think that's fun to explore.
Yeah, I like the way that this campaign is going so far because I also think that it gives other players kind of insight into who the other characters are in a way that you wouldn't necessarily get to in other campaigns where you're always together because you get these little vignettes of like what do they do when they're on their own, and things that like maybe other characters would actually know but things we would never play through so the players would never know. And so I think that that leaves a lot of good stuff to explore in this campaign. And I also don't think we all need to like a campaign doesn't need to be about some overarching problem that like is gonna ravage the world if these four people don't solve it. Because I think that a lot of times players forget that NPCs exist and have been doing things.
Oh, are you talking about the Friday crew?
I mean, the Friday Crew is not the first time I've seen it.
I know.
It's just the most current. But
Yeah.
like
Can you
like
describe that a little bit more? Because especially like with Taratha and like I as Kelly, like as a DM, love this whole like integrating goblins, like one to like because there's the conversation of making goblins humanoid, but two because of like yeah, Taratha's being Taratha and just like going on a power trip as well. But like there's very like colonialist like themes going on there. But go ahead, Leia. Got with what I prompted you.
Yeah, for sure. So, in the Wednesday crew, for a while, I was playing an alternate version of Alabaster Crane, who was very much Alabaster Crane and not the Ash that listeners may or may not know. Um, and he's very entrenched in the city, has like a section of the city that he now controls, kind of now that the Inquisition have really taken over, and had been working on like rebelling and getting the Inquisition out and doing a lot of that for many months. And the Wednesday crew came
Friday.
in, Friday crew, sorry, Friday crew came in and like really believe that they are the saviors of the city and that they are the ones who can do it, and that no one had been doing anything previously, and that we were just all failing massively at getting the Inquisition out. And so it's interesting because like there were some like heated arguments, not arguments, discussions, heated discussions between my PC, who was like this half PC NPC, and the PCs and other NPCs, like because they were coming in guns a-blazing, like we can do this and we're here to save you, and the NPCs and Alabaster being like, we don't need your help, but fine, if you want to help, here's how you can help. And they didn't like that, so now they're doing their own thing, which is why I now have a different character in that campaign. But
It was so good. I just loved it.
I also loved how you goaded that on though. Like I wish that was like recorded somewhere so I could just do a replay right now.
know.
But yeah, I think that like oftentimes players forget that like they aren't the only ones who can do things, and oftentimes DMs don't like do anything with that. And I think that's really cool to do something with that as players, like sometimes we do here because we are so entrenched in the city, or in the Friday crew, where you would like bring that up and like the Friday crew's just still not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like despite the fact that you've been trying to like put that in there. And that's not I'm not saying anything bad about the Friday crew either. I really love that campaign.
Yeah.
And they're all amazing people. But yeah, anyway.
Oh, the Friday crew.
Leia doesn't know anything. But
Leia
anyway.
knows things.
I mean,
What?
don't worry.
What
Leia.
did you do?
You'll find out when you're older.
Fuck you! No, Cole, stop fucking with the shit.
I didn't do anything.
Fucking liar.
I'm
not a DM.
But
yeah. Yes, you are. And
No,
you
I'm not.
use that. You use that
I'm not
power.
the DM of that campaign.
But you are a DM, and you know all the tricks of the trade. So don't even sitting over there like I'm so innocent. Oh no.
But because you touched on it, oh man, converting a bunch of goblins as my subjects.
Yeah.
It was so.
You're lucky I'm on a goblin kick. Because I want goblins to just kind of like exist in the world for a little while that I deal with. That's why I created a goblin for Leia's campaign. I created a goblin for a campaign I'm playing in later tonight. Just goblins.
They're
Team Kobold.
That's true. Kobolds are good too, but
kobolds are good, but they're like not as integral, I think, to like the fantasy landscape as goblins are.
Maybe for
and so I like that kind
No. I think that is individual and generation of player too. Because kobolds used to be staples, like even more than goblins. Kobolds used to be a first adventure for almost everything.
Yep.
And that's not the case in 5e, but I would say that kobolds have been more integral to my experience of D&D than goblins ever have been. So
I'm not saying necessarily D&D. I'm just talking about like in terms of like you think of like fantasy creatures. For me, that goblins are pretty integral to like the generic fantasy landscape in a way that kobolds to me have.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just love that. I just love that idea of like trying to, really play with that idea of personhood. Not personhood. That's not the right word, but like
humanoid.
Humanoidhood. Sure. I love that question because it wasn't until which book that they finally became a player race?
Yeah, this one.
Xanathar. No, it was either Xanathars or Volos. I think it's Xanathars though.
Okay.
So
So
goblins
like,
are a play. Technically, you can play them in Pathfinder, which is so close to D&D that it kind of
Yeah.
becomes a part of the D&D verse. But I think at some point in 3.5 you could too, but it was like not advised, and like that was for goblin campaigns, not like a person in your party was a goblin.
Yeah. But also just kind of speaking of like humanoidhood slash personhood, like one of the things that I'm having a lot of fun, and not because I think it's like good or like interesting, terribly so, but just like different, is just incorporating like protests and sorts of different viewpoints and questions of ethics and law changings based on the sort of changing landscape of magic and um, like breaking the fourth wall, like the lore based on what players are able to play in the D&D verse. Because I don't feel like a lot of campaigns have that aspect a lot. Because like okay, so like there's protests in terms of like riots for workers' rights or farmers' rights when there's like an oppressive force, but this is a protest when there's not necessarily an overt oppressive like kingdom. Like I'm not saying there's not hegemony here or hegemony depending on how you say it, but like it's not like an overt oppression that you see a lot of D&D campaigns that have those sorts of riots and overthrows of government.
I think it's partially because, right, a lot of campaigns want the players to kind of be the center of attention. So, like, when you have those kinds of things, the players suddenly maybe feel small. And I know for a lot of, at least a lot of people who play D&D, that it's like the game offers kind of an escape to some degree. And so, for some people, that may not feel as escapey, if that makes sense. Not saying that this is a hard and fast rule. I'm just saying that might be one of the reasons why you don't see it as much.
Mm. Discussion points that you guys want to bring up.
No. I'm really tired. I feel like taking a nap.
same.
Thoughts on including plague in D&D right now?
I
Because
actually
No.
there's a new map that came out from the people that make this, and it's a plague hospital. And I'm just like, nope, I'm not. I mean, I'm downloading it, but I'm not using it.
Oh.
I've been seeing a lot of chatter about it on like Facebook and Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
the groups that I'm in, and so I just wanted to get your y'all's take.
Yeah, like I mean, personally, I like if so. I'm not saying it's in bad taste by any means. It's just like I'm already under quarantine. I don't want to deal with this particular issue outside of real life. But like I could understand it being kind of like a memey thing, like where for like Valentine's Day I did kind of a fedora based adventure.
I would say like if we could meet up and play it, that'd be one thing. But you know, social distance,
Yeah.
it makes it hurt.
There have been 3 takes on it in social media that I've been following. One that is totally clueless and is just like, "Yo, bros, I'm gonna do a plague campaign right now. It's gonna be epic. How do you think I should do this?"
Oh my god.
Like that just does not get it at all. One that's like, "Hey, my players really want to play through this because they're feeling that they can't do anything, and they want to be able to feel like they can do something, so they want to play through this plague thing, so they can feel like, they're active in kind of the world that's going around and like a way that processes the information." And then there's the third crew that's like, "Fuck no."
I'm part of the
Go
third
away.
crew.
If you do this, you're awful. Like, no,
Oh,
no, no,
not that it's awful, but you know.
no. I mean, yeah, like I mean, those are all the extreme examples of each of those camps, right? And the majority of people are in the third camp.
Mm-hmm.
That are
That
just like,
actually, oh,
no. So yeah.
that brings up an kind of in seminar the other day we were talking about TV as a kind of pedagogical process for like as a means of teaching people how society is, or like what the family is supposed to look like, or what you're supposed to do when these situations happen in a lot of like the Boy Meets World type sitcoms. And I was just thinking about like D&D or games as a sort of pedagogical thing, teaching you like, yes, you were talking about like, oh, people who feel like they can't do anything, like what about like properly social distancing or going on an adventure that requires you to use prestidigitation all the time, and if you don't then you get sick, or so like what about using D&D as kind of a pedagogical tool for how to handle situations like this?
I think it can totally be used that way. That's one of the things that I talk about a lot, actually, kind of in my academic work, is how do we use just role playing games more generally, um, to help teach people, but also to help like process this type of information in a different way. So yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I was I don't know if this is entirely related, but the devs for Mass Effect, said put out stats recently about how many people have gone the quote unquote good route versus the bad route, and players more often than not choose the good route. So I think there's something to be said about how role playing gives people an opportunity to kind of like weigh out those things and make ethical choices.
Mm.
Kind of like a playground for ethics in a way. And try out those things.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I think like the general idea is, we want these like fantasy settings, so like we could be, the powerful figure, or make be the Sith Lord or be the Doom guy. And while there are people who certainly search for that I would say that's not universally the case, or even majority of the case.
Mm. Though sometimes it is fun to play the bad guys. Like I had the Friday crew be the bad guys for this campaign, which is where the undead horde from Gio came from. That you all just went, nope, no, thank you. And sometimes it is fun playing evil characters. I think Eric, you had the evil artificer that I love to like play against. But like playing evil characters also sometimes feels really bad as a DM, but also like gratifying in a way to have such just a shitty person that just provides the players something to go against.
I actually
Yeah.
go ahead, Eric.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I actually really love playing evil characters. Depending on the campaign, like I played them long term, and I've played them where I thought it was going to be long term, and then decided I didn't want to. It kind of depends on the party makeup, I think, and how much often their selfishness will get in the way or make it not fun for you or other people. But I have played evil characters quite extensively in several campaigns and had a ton of fun with it. Because they don't have to be the like, I won't work with anyone, I'm an individual, kind of stereotype that we often place on evil characters. But it's also just fun to be the actual bad guy, like on purpose. Like just like everyone at the table, like an evil campaign or whatever, is always can be a blast, I think.
Yeah, I think evil characters can be good as long as it's something that you really want to hash out in session 0, right? Make sure that everyone's okay with it. Make sure you know how you're going to kind of jive with each other and whatnot. But I think it can be rewarding for the person playing it, rewarding for the DM, and for even the other players at the table when it's done right. And I totally agree with you that being evil doesn't mean like being like edgelord. I don't know, I'm a total asshole to everybody, right? Being evil, like in general, and if we're just going by like the actual alignment chart, it like evil means like not caring for like what we quote common good, right? Like it's caring about your personal good over that. And so I think that I think two things. One, I think that there's a lot more evil characters than sometimes people realize. But two, people who just like you like set out to be evil not because it'll be like fun to be a dick, but because you've got a story that you want to tell with this character, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hilariously, most of the evil characters I've played, I told no one or only the DM. Sometimes not the DM either. Just to see how long I could get away with with being evil.
Yeah.
And for the record, I once turned an entire party evil that started out with
Yes.
me as a lawful evil and everyone else as like some kind of good, neutral good, chaotic good, whatever, and turned the entire party into an evil cult that took down the world. So
I love it.
I think that it's good at session 0 to talk to people about who you want your character to be, and I also think that it can be really, really, really fun to keep secrets from the
Yep.
rest of the party, because I think then there's like this, because often players will assume, and I see this as a DM and I also feel this deeply as a player, that other players will assume that they understand and know who your character is and will make massive assumptions based on a very limited amount of material. Um,
Yep.
and so it can be fun to just fuck with those. Like, so I don't know. Like that's what I'd say. Um, yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
sorry. Go ahead,
don't.
Eric.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily wrong or bad or anything. I think personally, like it can lead to a lot of drama, you know, like and like good kind of drama, right? Like I think of like I'm just gonna use like you know the the token Tolkien text, right? But Boromir, right, in Fellowship of the Ring, right? He
Yeah.
like betrays the party, and that's like the one of the best moments of that book, right? I mean,
Okay.
what?
I mean, he was under the thrall of the ring.
Yeah, but like he had
Yeah.
the evil already within him a little bit, right? Like you know,
Yeah.
he succumbed to it, right? Everyone had the choice to do the wrong thing, but he was the one who went through with it, right? And
Yeah.
that's dramatic, that's good. But I think there is a slight danger of imagining that you're the four hobbits, right? Just for a second, and then one of the four hobbits turns out to be evil. Like that could be like for some players, I think that could be jarring and bad. I but I also think like it depends on the nature of the evil. Like, is it evil that's going to get in the way of everyone else's fun or goals, or is it evil that's going to kind of be doing its own kind of thing? You know?
I was also
Yeah.
gonna do an alternative of not just not keeping secrets from players or DMs, but keeping secrets from your character. Like, I have a character in Eric's campaign that didn't know that she was a half elf, just always believed that she was a human, and every one of the party members was like, yeah, you're a half elf, because they like realized or passed those sort of perception checks to realize that she's different than what she believes to be. So I think that's like a fun thing to do as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. To like hilariously, to go like on that path and with the evil path, I once had a character who didn't know they were evil. Like really believed that their alignment, like the DM allowed me to even like players that had like detect alignment or whatever. I showed up as neutral good because my character believed so hard that they were neutral good and ultimately were actually evil
Mm.
based on action. Um and so that was a really cool kind of like growth pattern that particular character went through. Um anyway, yeah.
Just as an aside, I just got invited to a murder mystery party from my friends from New York.
Fuck
Um, and it's going to be a bunker murder mystery party pretending it's like 3 years into the pandemic. So now I'm sort of changing my
yeah.
tune about the thing, because now it sounds kind of fun now that we're kind of like pretending it's the apocalypse as opposed to playing through as it is right now. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to play the moment. I want to play what we imagine it's gonna look like in the future. But I don't know.
I'm glad you're excited.
That is all. Well, it is 5 o'clock. So,
Go take
and-
naps, friends.
yeah. Thank you all for
Nap time in the
Yeah, thanks
afternoon.
for DMing Cal and for being other awesome players, friendos.
y'all. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.